Before starting engine checklist, pre-flight is complete, aircraft is dispatched, tow bars removed, I can see it over there. Seatbelt, my seatbelt's good, his seatbelt is good, passenger briefing, door is closed and latched, and gear handles in the down position. Fuel selectors are going to go on cross side. Chokes are off, throttles are at idle, props for full forward, carpet is off, battery master comes on. Alright, fuel pumps left and right on. We're going to verify that we have fuel pressure and that it stabilizes. Vector pressure is good, left and right come off. PFD is coming on, perfect. Landing gear, want to make sure that we've got 3 green and red transit light. Fire warning system, and make sure that we see 2 CAS messages. Strobe lights going to come on. Area is clear, left and right, and ignition switches, all 4 come on. Engine start battery down here. We want to verify that we've got 12 volts. All right, got 12 volts. We're going to set the parking brake. And we're going to go ahead and start with our left engine. So choke, we just flew it, so we're going to keep the choke off. Left fuel pump's going to come on. And starter engage. One more time, make sure nobody's coming. We'll go ahead and start that engine. All right, oil pressure is in the green. RPM, we want to take it to 1,000, so we're just going to rise just a little bit. Choke off, alt field comes on, cross bus comes on, and avionics comes on. Then we'll come over here, flip this to the left side. We're showing good amps and good volts. And now we'll start with the right engine. We'll start the right engine. So choke, we just flew it, so choke is going to be in the off position. Right fuel pump on. One last check, make sure nobody's coming, and we will start the right engine. Right engine is good. It's doing a self-test. It's going to go up to 1,000. We'll come down here and verify that we've got oil pressure. Oil pressure's in the green. RPM, we're going to bring it up to 1,000. Okay, RPM is 1,000 after starting. Choke, we're going to make sure that it's in the off position. Alternator field is going to come on. Right cross bus comes on, and right avionics. Then we'll come over here to the right side. We're going to swap this to right hand. Amps is in the green, and we'll press this button. We'll press this button for volts, and volts is green. Okay? We'll do our before taxi check. RPM is at 1,000 on both sides. Fuel pumps will come off left and right. We'll make sure that the mechanical pump takes over. The right one is dropping. All right, and it's stabilized. We're good there. Autopilot master is coming on. We'll go pitch and rudder trim are coming on. Flaps are going to come up. Verify that they're coming up. Oil temperature we want above 50 degrees Celsius, which it is. Nav lights, we'll leave those off for now. Radios, we're on 122.7. Park brake release, area is clear, and we'll test our brakes. Alright, we're in the engine run-up. We just got to our run-up area. We're pointing to the wind and our nose gear is straight. And start running through the checklist. So first thing, parking brake is set. Taxi light comes off. Radios, AWAS, we already listened to the AWAS. Navigation, I usually just like to put KMDD, it's the location of our airport, and just so we know where we are. If we're ever coming back, it gives us a distance. Okay, fuel selectors, left engine is going to go to left tank, and right engine is going to go to right tank. We just put them on cross feed to make sure on the ground that we can feed from both tanks. Alright, fuel pumps left and right come on, and we're going to verify that we've got fuel pressure. Cylinder head temperature, we want it between 50 and 100 Celsius, which we are. Props are going to go full forward, carb heat is off, and now engine RPM is going to go up to 1650 side. And we can do both engines at the same time. Right, there's 1650. Ignitions, we're going to check one at a time. So when I turn this off, we're going to look for a drop, and we're just going to work on the left engine, then we'll go to the right. So left engine, left ignition. We're looking for a slight drop, which we did. Now we'll go back on, look for a rise. We'll go right hand side. Looks good. Now we'll go back on to both. Okay, now we'll go to the right engine. If one comes off, slight drop. We'll go back to both. Once it rises, we'll drop the right one. Saw a nice drop. Now we'll go back to both. That looks good there. Now props, we're going to cycle them. So this engine, we don't want to put the prop or the engine into feather on the ground. So we're going to put our finger over the feather so it doesn't go in there. So we're going to do this 3 times. The first time we're looking for a drop, then a rise in RPM. The second one, we are looking for a rise and a drop in manifold, which we did. Then the last one, we were looking for a drop and a rise and oil pressure. Right, perfect there. Now we're going to go to the right engine. Same thing. We're looking for a drop, then a rise. RPM, that's good. Now we're looking for a rise, then a drop and manifold. Now we're looking for a drop, then a rise and oil pressure. Perfect. Okay. Now we're going to put both our carbs. See, these ones we can put on both at the same time, and we're just looking for a slight drop. Right, good drop. The engine didn't die. We'll go back to the off position. Okay, PFD enunciators, want us to verify. We've got 2 green right there, rear door and pitot heat. The rear door in this airplane always says open. We checked that on the ground before we got into the airplane, and it is closed. Right, engine instruments, we just want to make sure that everything is in the green. Everything looks good on our cylinder head temperatures. Oil temperatures are on the green, and oil pressure is all in the green. All right, now we're going to go to idle. This airplane idles right at 1,000. You can't, it's really hard to get it below 1,000. So we just go all the way to idle. Just make sure that the plane doesn't die. The reason that it's such a high idle is because we have a gear reduction system. Okay, flight controls, we want to make sure that they're free and correct. It's very hard to see that the flight controls are correct, but you can just barely see the counterweights over here on the left side. So come all the way back, don't feel anything, all the way forward, and then we'll move. You can't really move the rudders on the ground very much. Okay, but everything looks good. Transponder is set, we're at 1200 in altitude mode. Flaps, we're going to put them at takeoff. This airplane, if you ever have more than takeoff flaps, there is a buzzer, so we just want to be right at takeoff. Right? Trim over here, our trim indicator is over here, and it's kind of hard to see, but there is no trim set for takeoff, so we do 1 notch above the middle here. We've got that right there, and there's 2 ways to do the trim in this airplane. We have the manual trim right here, or we have the electric trim, the Autopilot. Then our rudder trim, we just keep it on the middle, and the rudder trim movement is here. It's just a little switch. Okay, takeoff briefing. So any abnormalities during takeoff roll, we will throttle idle, maintain directional control with the rudders. Any power abnormalities after takeoff and before reaching 400 feet AGL, we'll throttle idle and land straight ahead, avoiding any obstacles. Any power abnormalities after 400 feet AGL, we'll move all levers full forward, gears up, flap up. We're going to identify, verify feather, assess performance, and land as soon as possible. Right, now we'll go through the before takeoff checklist. So fuel pumps are on. We've got both fuel pumps on, and fuel pressure is in the green. Ignitions, want to make sure all of our ignitions are on. Electrical switches, all of our electrical switches are on. Flaps are set for takeoff. Trims are set for takeoff. Engine instrument, everything is in the green. And then all lights, I just like to have all the lights on just to have extra visibility in case we encounter anybody in the pattern or somebody in the area, just added visibility. Okay, now we're going to do a normal takeoff. We'll make a radio call and walk through the procedure as we're going on. Airport traffic, Twin Tecnam 973 Golf Victor, lining up at departing runway 34, staying in the pattern. Air park. Make sure nobody's coming. Alright. For normal takeoff, we're going to come to a complete stop. Make sure that that nose gear is straight. Come to a complete stop. We got a slight crosswind from the right. So first thing we're going to do is our engine is going to go to 2,000 RPM. We're holding the brakes, make sure nothing's rolling. Okay, we're going to verify that all of our engine instruments are in the green. Once we're good with that, we're going to release the brakes. Throttles go to full. Now we're looking for 65. As we're increasing, we'll slowly get rid of that crosswind. Okay, there's 65. We're going to pull back, tap the brakes, gear comes up, and now we're going to lower the nose and pitch for 84. A little bit of nose down trim in there. We don't do a whole lot of normal takeoffs at this airport just because how close all the houses are around us. It's with 84, you don't really get that much of a climb. Alright, so we're just going to hold 84. We're 400 feet AGL. That is 3,200 feet MSL. Flaps are going to come up. Flaps come up, and this airplane really likes to accelerate when we bring the flaps up, so think flaps up, pitch up. So we'll add just a little bit of nose up trim, and we're just going to hold 84. When we're 700 feet AGL, that's when we'll turn right crosswind. Airport traffic, Twin Tecnam 973 Golf Victor, turning right crosswind runway 34, staying in the pattern, air park. We're just going to hold 3,800 all the way till we reach traffic pattern altitude, which is 3,800. Okay, there's 3,800. First thing we do is let the airplane accelerate. Alright, and now throttles. We're going to bring our throttles to 20 inches of pressure. Right, and then we're going to bring our props back to 2,200 a side. We have a 5-minute time limit on full power, so we're just bringing those back. Right, and we can turn our fuel pumps off one at a time. Verify the mechanical takes over, and now we can drop the right, and we're going to keep our hand on it until we verify fuel pressure is good. Alright, that's good. We're at 3,800. Airport traffic, Twin Tecnam 973 Golf Victor, turning right, downwind runway 34, staying in the pattern, airport. Alright, we're just maintaining 3,800, and about 100 in the pattern's pretty good. So there's nothing wrong with being ahead of the game. So we're almost to beam our touch-on point, and we're gonna run through our landing checklist. It's going to be FBI up. So F stands for fuel, fuel's on both sides. B is boost pumps come on. All ignition's on. If we're under 122, gear's going to go down. E is for props, full forward. Props come nice and smooth, full forward. S is all switches are on. And if we're under 122 flaps, you're going to go to the takeoff position. We'll add a little bit of nose down trim. Our whole goal here now is to stay above 84. That's our VYSE. So we just want to stay above 84 all the way until we're above the airport, or we've got the runway made. Airport traffic, Twin Tecnam 973 Golf Victor, turning right base runway 34. Full stop, air park. 90 is usually a good base speed. So wings are level. We'll go ahead and do our FBI up. So fuel's on both, boost pumps on, ignition's on. Gears down, we've got 3 green, props full forward, all switches on, and flaps. We're going to leave them in the takeoff position. We're going to turn final. Airport traffic, Twin Tecnam 973 Golf Victor, turning final, runway 34, full stop, airport. As we're turning final, fuel is on both, boost pumps on, ignition's on. We got 3 green, props full forward, switches on, and flaps. We're going to leave them at takeoff for a normal landing. Right, so we want to stay above 84 while we're on final. So I'm just going to pull a little bit of power back, pitch that nose up, and we're still coming down though. Just trying to bleed off some of that airspeed. And once we've got the runway made, that's when we'll go below 84. So right around now we've got that runway made. We're getting slowed down to close to 80. Right now I'm just aiming for that 3-4 right at the beginning of the runway. A little bit of a crosswind from the right. Okay, once we're over the numbers, we want to be around 71. All right, we're going to pull power to idle. A little bit of right rudder, left rudder, right aileron. We're just holding enough, waiting for those mains to touch down. Then we want to be very careful of the nose gear. We want to let it down nice and smooth. And now our nose gear is down, and we'll just come to. We'll get on those brakes so we don't find out at the end of the runway that the brakes are not working. Okay, now we'll do a short field takeoff. So everything's good. We ran through the FBI ups. Everything is what we want. So short field takeoff, we're using all available runway. We're all at the end. We're going to come to a complete stop. This time, from the difference of the normal takeoff, now we're going to go to full power. So we're going to go nice and smooth, full power. We really got to get on the brakes this time. Okay, verify all of our engine is on the green. Everything looks good. So now we will release brakes. Everything goes full forward. We have a slight crosswind from the right. This time we're still rotating at 65. Airspeed is alive. There's 65, bring that nose up, tap the brakes, gear comes up, and now we're pitching for 71 until we're clear of a 50-foot obstacle. Okay, we're getting a little slow, we'll lower the nose. And right around now we are clear of that 50-foot obstacle, so we will lower the nose, and now we're pitching for 84, and we'll do the rest of the climb out at 84. So at 3,200 feet, that's 400 feet AGL. And we're going to bring our flaps up. 104 feet to go. Flaps come up, and this airplane really wants to accelerate, so we're going to bring that nose up and keep that pitch up for 84. At 3,500, that's 700 feet AGL. We're going to turn right crosswind. Airport traffic, Twin Tecnam 973 Golf Victor, turning right crosswind, runway 34, staying in the pattern, airport. We're just holding 84 all the way till we reach 3,800. There's 3,800, we'll lower the nose. We're going to let that airplane accelerate before we pull any power back. There's accelerating. Throttle's going to come to 20 inches of manifold. And props are going to come back to 2,200 a side. And boost pumps come off one at a time. Left one comes off, we're going to keep our hand on it, make sure that the mechanical takes over. Right one comes off. hold our hand on it, make sure that the mechanic is over, and there we go. Now we'll turn right downwind. Airport traffic, Twin Tecnam 973 Golf Victor, turning right downwind, runway 34, staying in the pattern, airport. Alright, so now we will do a short field landing. So we're almost at beam our touchdown point, but there's nothing wrong with being ahead of the airplane, so we will do our FPI up. So fuel is on both sides, boost pumps come on, pressure rises, all ignitions on. If we're under 122, gear goes down. Props go nice and smooth, full forward. All switches and flaps, if we're under 122, are going to go to off. Right, now we're lowering the nose. This is a short field landing, so the only difference is we are going to land with full flaps and land on the 1,000 footers. We're just trying to stay above 84. Airport traffic, Twin Tecnam 973 Golf Victor, turning right base, runway 34, full stop. Airport. As we're turning, we'll run through our FBI up, so fuel's on both sides, boost pumps on. Gears down, we've got 3 green, props can pull forward, switches all on, and we'll wait for our wings to be level, and we will add about halfway between takeoff and full flaps. And we got to be under 93 to do that. There we are, we're right at 90. Flaps are going to come halfway between takeoff and full. And we're going to have to add just a little bit of power to stay above that 84, because it is a lot of drag. Okay, we'll start turning final. Airport traffic, Twin Tecnam 973 Golf Victor, turning final, runway 34, full stop, airport. Right, so as we're turning, fuel's on both sides, boost pumps on, ignition's on, gears down, we've got 3 green, props full forward, all switches on, and we're going to go full flaps once our wings are level. Staying above 84, and we're going to have to come in with a little bit of power because of the amount of drag with full flaps. Right, flaps are at full, we've got a little bit of a crosswind from the right, so we'll come on, creep over to the right. We're staying above 84 until we've got the runway made. It's really bumpy. So we've got the runway made, now we'll slow down to around 80 knots. And I'm aiming for the 3-4. We're over 3-4, we want to be around 71, and we're going to pull that power to idle. Pull at 80, going to pull a little bit of power, and power goes to idle. We're going to add some left rudder, right aileron, or just a touch of power, a little bit of left, right on the 1,000 footers. We'll get back on that center line, keep that crosswind in, get back on that center line, and bring that nose down nice and smooth. Right, and we'll get on those brakes just to make sure we don't find out at the end of the runway that our brakes don't work. Okay, so now we're going to do a normal takeoff, but we're going to do an aborted takeoff. So usually what happens, me or your DP is just going to jam your rudder. Your corrective action is going to be to pull power to idle and come to a complete stop. So we're just going to set it up as a normal takeoff. So we'll run through our FBI up, so fuel's on both, boost pumps on, ignition's on, gears obviously down, props full forward, all of our switches on and flaps set for takeoff. So we're holding our brakes, we're going to go nice and smooth to 2,000 RPM. We're going to verify everything is in the green, everything looks good. So now we're going to release the brakes, everything goes nice and smooth, full forward. And this is when your instructor would kick the rudders, and your corrective action is just going to power to idle and come to a complete. Now we're going to do a short field takeoff. We're going to do an engine failure at 400 feet AGL. So we're just going to do a short field takeoff, and then I'll pull my own engine when we're at 400 feet AGL. So fuel, FBI up, so fuel's on both sides, boost pumps on, ignition on, gears obviously down, props full forward, all switches on, flaps set for takeoff. So we're going to hold the brakes, throttles are going to come nice and smooth, full power. And we're going to verify everything's in the green, and we will release. We got a crossing from the right. So we're looking for 65. So airspeed's alive. As we're increasing speed, we'll slowly get rid of that bank. There's 50, 55, 60, 65, pull up, tap the brakes, gear comes up, and we're pitching for 71 until we're clear of a 50-foot obstacle. There's a 50-foot obstacle. Now we'll lower the nose, and we are looking for 84. Now we'll keep lowering that nose, looking for 84. Right, there's 84. Okay, so right around now, this is where we lose our engine. So I'm going to pull the right engine back. Okay, so we just lost it, so everything's going to go full forward. We're going to start pitching for 84, check our drag items. Gear comes up, flaps come up, that's going to help us. Start bringing that nose up. And we're going to identify, verify, so right leg is dead, verify, and now we're going to do a simulated feather. Comes a little bit to the back because the right engine dead, we're going to go to the left, so we're pitching for 84, and we're going to go all the way around. Airport traffic, Tecnam 973, Golf Victor, simulated engine failure, turning left, crosswind runway 34, staying in the pattern, full stop, airport. So we're getting a little slow, so we'll lower that nose. And we are getting kind of bumped around here. But in a, when we have an engine failed, or a simulated failure in this point, we don't really want to exceed 15, maybe 20 degrees on our turn. So it's just a nice and smooth turn. And we'll just keep this left crosswind all the way to a left downwind. Airport traffic, Twin Tecnam 973 Golf Victor is turning left downwind, runway 34, simulated engine failure, staying in the pattern, full stop, airport. So this airplane, on paper, it does say it will not climb up at about 3,000 pressure altitude. But right now, we're 200 feet away from our traffic pattern altitude. And I'm just keeping that nose up. I've noticed that right around 90, we might be in some kind of updraft, but 84 to 90 right now is getting us a good climb. So I'm right now right back at 84, and we're 40 feet away from our traffic pattern altitude. As we get to traffic pattern altitude, I'm just going to lower the nose and allow the airplane to accelerate. Still, just want to maintain altitude. If we get a little bit faster, that's fine, because we are already at traffic pattern altitude. Right, so now, because we are at beam or touchdown point, we're still going to run through our FBI up. So fuel's on both sides, boost pumps on, ignition's on. Our gear's going to go down. This airplane does just fine with the gear down. It's still not a lot of drag. I'm going to wait to put my flaps in right now because of the heat until I'm about on a base. And don't be afraid to pull power back when you're on a single engine. Airport traffic, Twin Tecnam 973, Golf Victor is turning left base, runway 34, simulated engine failure, airport. We're coming down, nice. Want to be below 122 before we add flaps. We're doing pretty good on our altitude here, so I'm going to go ahead and put takeoff flaps in. That's about as max takeoff flaps is about as max flaps as you want to do on a single engine. Now we're going to kind of do just a little bit of a dog leg to kind of get us going towards the airport. And we're doing pretty good on our airspeed. We're right at 94 right now. Airport traffic, Twin Tecnam 973 Golf Victor, turning final runway 34, full stop, airport. We're keeping that speed up. Like I said, don't be afraid to pull some power back. So we're right at 100 right now. We're at 95. We're letting that airspeed bleed off. We still kind of want to stay above 84 till we're above the runway, especially on a single engine. A little bit of a crosswind from the right. We're right at 88 right now. We're coming in nice and smooth. Keeping that power in right around now. That's where I'm going to pull that power to idle. A little bit of a crosswind from the right, so we need some left rudder. Alright. We're going to let that nose down nice and smooth. Alright, and we'll get on those brakes. Alright, so now we're going to do steep turns. So before we do any maneuver, we want to make sure that we do our pre-maneuver checklist. So that's going to be fuels on both sides, boost pumps on, ignition's on, gears up, all switch props, we're going to leave them where they're at, and flaps up. Okay, so pretty much for every maneuver, our recovery from it is going to be manifolds 20 inches and props 2200. So that is the current configuration that we're in right now, and we're going to do steep turns. So we're at 7,000, heading 340. We're just going to lower the nose just a little bit, get back down to 7,000. Now this maneuver, it's all about the entry. Some people, most people come from a 172 where you kind of just get into it and turn. This one, it's very nice and smooth getting into the bank, and we want to set the bank and forget it, and lead with your feet. So we're going to lead with a little bit of left rudder, and then I've never ever seen anybody climb on a steep turn in this airplane. So as soon as we get into it, we want to bring that nose up, and because naturally everybody starts descending. Okay, so we're at 7,000 feet, heading 340, and all about the entry, so we'll lead with our feet. A little more left rudder. Okay, now we're into it. We're going to start bringing that nose up. We're going to set the bank and forget it. We don't really need to make any power changes unless the entry wasn't good and we need to add a lot of power. We lost about 20 feet, so we're going to bring that nose up. Everything's looking really good. We're losing just a little bit of altitude. There's 30 feet right there. We can get it on the exit. Alright, there's 340, going straight into one to the right. Lead with your feet. We're bringing that nose up. Coordinated. Alright, now we're in it. The nose is starting to drop. We're looking outside. Start bringing that nose up. We're going to add just a little bit of right rudder. Add some power. Bring that nose back up. And we're back at 7,000 feet. A little bit of right rudder. Bring that nose up because of the right rudder. Alright, and we'll roll on at 340. And we lost about 20 feet. Not too bad. Okay, so now we are going to do a power off stall. This is an approach to landing stall. We're coming into land and we're not paying attention to our airspeed, and we're too slow and stall the airplane. So that's what we're going to do. So to get into it, we're at 20 inches on our manifold, 2200. And the first thing that we're going to do is our props are going to go nice and smooth full forward. Maintaining 7,000. We're going to start our timer because we have a 5-minute time limit at full power. Alright, if we're under 122, props are going to go to takeoff. We're just going to watch that balloon. Alright, if we're under 122, gear's going to go down and we're maintaining altitude. We're just going to keep our power where it's at 20 inches of manifold. Alright, now once we're under 93, flaps are going to go to full. Just maintaining altitude. Okay, flaps are at full. We're at 7,000 feet. And now we're trying to get slowed down to 71, that's VX. Once we're at that, we're going to lower the nose, pull a little bit of power, and we want to stabilize descent at 71 knots. Pull a little bit more power. Still in our heading of 160. We want to lose about 100, 200 feet, right at 71 knots. Stabilize descent. If there's 200 feet, power's going to come to idle. We're going to bring that nose up, and we're not that aggressive on it. We're just bringing that nose up, and we're going to recover at our first indication. This is our first indication, so we're going to lower the nose, full power. Up that airspeed. We're still in our heading. Start bringing that nose up. Flaps are going to go from full to takeoff. Stop it right there. Once you've got a positive rate of airspeed and altitude, gear's going to come up. Positive rate, positive airspeed, flaps come up, and now we're pitching for 84. We're just going to lower that nose just a little bit. I want to see a stabilized climb at 84 for about 5 seconds. Alright, we'll just level off at 6,900. We'll lower the nose, let the airplane accelerate. Throttles are going to come to 20 inches aside. And we can pull props back to 2,200. Alright, and that's the maneuver. Okay, so now we're going to do a power on stall. This is you're taking off, you're not paying attention, you're bringing that nose up too much, or you let the throttle come out and you get stall. So just like the last maneuver, pre-maneuver checklist is done. And so while we're in this, from the recovery from the last one, we're at 20 inches and props are at 2,200. So first thing we'll do is we're on heading 160, 7,000. First thing we'll do is props are going to go nice and smooth, full forward. This time, because I didn't stop the last time, we're going to hit it 3 times. Get that started. Now if we're under 122, flaps are going to go to takeoff. Just watch that tip and then a balloon. Now, while maintaining 7,000, we're going to pull power back, and we are going to go to 71 knots. That's VX. We need to go down to 71 knots. We're going to maintain altitude in our heading, and we're trying to bleed off some of that airspeed. If you ever hear that horn, that's just letting us know that our gear's not down. So we're going to bring it up so we don't train to listen to that. Okay, so we're just maintaining altitude. Once we get to 71, we're going to bring our power up to the O, on throttle to the O, and we're just going to have a stabilized climb at 71 knots. Altitude does not matter anymore. We just want 71 knots. I want to see it for about 200 feet. Still on our heading, 160, 71 knots. Once we're at 71 knots, we're going to bring this nose up. And we're not too aggressive on it, we're just bringing that nose up nice and smooth. We recovered our first indication. There it is, we're going to lower the nose, nice and smooth, full power. Let the airplane accelerate. Start bringing that nose up. Once we're a positive rate of airspeed and altitude, flaps come up, and now we're pitching for 84. I want to see 84 for about 5 seconds before we pull power back. There it is. Now we'll just level off at 7,600. We'll pull your throttles back to 20 inches. And props come to 2,200. And that's the maneuver. Okay, so now we're going to do an accelerated stall. An accelerated stall is to show us that a stall can pretty much happen at any airspeed. So we are in the cruise configuration. We've got throttles are at 20 inch manifold, and we've got 2,200 on our RPM. What we're going to do is we're at 7,000 feet. We'll bug 7,000 feet. We'll stop that timer. And we're just going to hold 7,000 feet, and we're going to pull our power back, and we're trying to get slowed down to 80 knots indicated. We're just holding our heading, holding our altitude. It takes a little while to get into this maneuver. Add just a little bit of nose up trim. This will help bleed off some of our airspeed. more power. And once we get to 80 knots, we're going to pull power to just slightly above idle, right here. Now we're going to go 45-degree bank to the left, and pitch up. There's our stall. We're going to lower the nose, level the wings, full power on everything, and pitch up. Our new heading, and we're looking for 84. Our drag items are up, and we're just looking for 84. Right, then we go to recover at our new altitude. We'll go to 72. We'll start bringing throttles to 20 inches and props to 2200. And that's it. Okay, so now we're going to do slow flight. We're heading 160, 7,000. Our configuration's the same as the other ones. We're at 20 inches on our throttle and 2200 on our RPM. First thing that we're going to do is props are going to go nice and smooth, full forward. We're going to start that timer. For under 122, flaps are going to go to takeoff. Alright, if we're under 122 again, gear goes down. Maintain a little bit of lift from our flaps. We'll get back down to our altitude. Wait for that gear to come all the way down. Alright, once gear's down, flaps go to full if we're under 93. And we're just maintaining altitude at 7,000. Now we're going to hold 7,000, and we want to get slowed down. We want to find out what our stall warn horn comes on at, and then we're going to go 5 knots up above that. That's what we're going to pitch for in our slow flight. So we're just maintaining altitude. We're pulling a little bit of power out. Keep bringing that nose up. So I don't know if you heard it, but it came on at 48. So now we're going to go 5 knots above that, and we're going to pitch for 53. So remember, in slow flight, we pitch for your airspeed, power for the altitude. So we're a little bit slow, so I'm just going to lower that nose. I'm going to pull a little bit of power out. We're looking for 53 knots. It's all nice, fine movements. Alright, so let's turn left heading 070, and let's ascend down to 6,800, all while maintaining 53 knots. So we pitch for airspeed, power for the altitude. So I'm just going to pull a little bit of power back. And in slow flight, we don't want to exceed maybe 10, 15 degrees of bank. It's called slow flight for a reason. So it's just nice and smooth, not descending. So we're just going to pull a little bit of more power. And we're just maintaining that 53 knots. Alright, there we go. We just started our descent. Maintain 53 knots. Getting just a tad slow. Lower that nose. So we're 100 feet from where I'm trying to go. So we're going to come in with some power so we don't blow past 68. Doesn't take much. We'll keep lowering that nose. We're going to come in with that power. Add slow, we'll lower the nose. It's going gonna make us descend just a hair, so we're gonna come in with just a little bit of power. We're at 6,870, 070 on the heading, and 53 knots. Now let's turn right heading 160, and let's go back up to 7,000. All while retaining 53 knots, so let's add some power. And it's called slow flight for a reason, so nice and smooth, nice and slow. If it takes us 5 minutes to get there, that's fine. Getting a little slow, so I'm just going to lower that nose. I'm going to start pulling some power back because we're coming up on 7,000. A little more power so we don't go past it. Getting a little slow, so I'm just going to lower the nose just a little bit, come in with some power. We're rolling out on 160 at 7,000. I'm just going to add just a little bit of power and lower the nose. Just constantly making fine adjustments. So now we're 7,160, 53. Now to recover, we're just going to go full power. Alright, we're going to keep the 7,160. Flaps are going to go from full to takeoff. And we're just maintaining 7,000. Gear's going to come up, still just maintaining 7,000. Right, flaps will come up the rest of the way, just letting everything accelerate. And a little bit of up trim. Alright, now we can bring our manifolds to 20 inches. And props will come to 2,200. Alright, and that's it. Okay, so now we're going to do a VMC demo. So to get started, we're heading 340, 7,000, we'll stop that timer. We're at 200 on our RPM, 20 inches our manifold. So the first thing that we're going to do is props are going to go nice and smooth, full forward. We'll start that timer. If we're under 122, flaps are going to go to takeoff. So now, while we're at 7,000, we need to get slowed down to 80 knots. So we're going to do that by pulling some throttle, just maintaining 7,000 feet. Staying at 340, 7,000. There's 83. We'll pull just a little bit more power. Once we get to 80, we're going to go full throttle, nice and smooth. Left throttle's going to go all the way to idle, and you're going to hear the beep. We're going to bring it back up. Now we're 340, and we're going to pitch up and lose 1 knot per second. Staying on our heading, we're going to recover when one of 3 things happen. We hit red line, we hear the first indication of a stall, or we lose directional control. In this case, it's going to be right when we hit 62. So when we hit 62, we're going to lower the nose. Throttle goes to half. We're staying on our heading at 340. We're lowering the nose. We're going to go full power. Start bringing that nose up. Flaps come to 0, and now we're pitching for 84. And I want to see 84 for about 5 seconds before we recover. There's about 5 seconds. Now we're going to slowly introduce our left throttle. We're going to stay active on our feet, stay on that heading, and we're just going to stay at 7,000 feet. The airplane accelerate. Now we're going to pull our manifolds to 20 inches, and props come to 2,200. And we're at 7,000, 340, and that's it. Okay, so now we're going to do a engine shutdown and restart. So, me being your instructor, you're not always going to know when your engine is cut. So you don't always know when your engine's going to be cut. So you're pretty much going to be in the cruise configuration. We've got 20 inches of manifold and 2200 RPM. I can cut your engine one of three ways. The first, cutting off the fuel when you're not looking, go and turn the fuel to the off position. It takes a little bit while for the tanks to drain. Two, I can just come up here and turn off your ignitions. Or three, usually I do this when we're on the ground or when we shoot a single engine approach. I just go and pull your engine all the way to idle. So you're just going to be flying around. I'm going to come up here and just cut off the ignition. Here we are. So you're going to need a bunch of right rudder. So the first thing we're going to do is everything's going to go nice and smooth, full forward. We'll start pitching up for 84 and we're going to check our drag items. Our gear is up and our flaps are in the up position and we're just shooting for 84 now. Okay? So now we're going to identify, verify feather. So my left leg is dead. I've got no input, so left is dead. So we're identify, verify. We're going to bring it up and down. We see no change, so we're going to bring it all the way to idle. And we hear that beeping, so we're just going to bring it up slightly above that. Now we're going to feather. So left engine, we identified, verified feather. Now we're going to simulate the left. We're going to pull it to a full feather. So when we do this, we got to take it all the way to feather and hold it there until the engine actually shuts down. All right? So we're on our heading, 84. Hold all the way there. We're going to hold it there until the engine shuts down. So the engine just shut down, and now we're going to run through the securing checklist off of memory. So it's going to be up here. It would be turn fuel off. We're going to simulate it. Fuel pump's going to come off. Ignition's already off because that's how I killed the engine. And we're going to cut the field off. Right? We want 84. We're heading a 340. And now I'm going to pull out the checklist and run through the securing checklist to verify that I got everything. So securing throttles at idle, ignition are off, prop is in full feather, fuel selector is off, fuel pump is off, and field is off. So now I might have you turn a couple times to the left, to the right, but the main thing is we're just looking for 84. Okay, so now we're going to do the in-flight engine restart. As you can see, our pilot door is open just because of how it works. There's an electromagnet that senses oil pressure, and it doesn't sense oil pressure, so it is open. Okay, so now we're going to run through the in-flight engine restart. So the first thing, fuel gauge, check. We want to make sure that the reason that that engine died wasn't because we ran out of fuel. We know we have fuel in it, so that's good. Now fuel selector, let's say we did run that tank dry. Now we're going to move it to the opposite tank, but that tank is good, so we're going to leave it on the left. Fuel pump on, we're going to turn the fuel pump on. And now every time that I do something, we go back and look to make sure that we're at 84. Right, so fuel pump is good, we've got fuel pressure. Our ignitions, we're going to turn the on. In-op throttle is going to be at idle. Operational throttles is required. And then our in-op prop, this is the most important step. This engine will not start in feather, so we need to make sure that it goes all the way up to the front. Carb heat, we're going to make sure that all the carb heats are off. Now field verify off, and now we're going to start the engine. Sometimes just the starter is enough to start the engine. Sometimes you might need to lower the nose to get some airflow. So we're going to start it. Shake the airplane. We need to get the prop out of feather. Alright, it's my lucky day. It just started. So we've got oil pressure. Everything looks in the green. Now we're going to slowly advance our left throttle all the way up while maintaining directional control. While we're there, we're going to come up, turn our field on. And now we can get back into the cruise configuration at our new altitude, that's 6,700. We're going to bring our throttles 20 inches and our props down to 2,200 RPM. Okay, so now I'm going to demonstrate how to use the autopilot. Before we turn on the autopilot, we always want to make sure that we bug our heading and our altitude. We're going to bug our heading, and we go ahead and turn our heading mode on. Now let's go ahead and bug 5,000. We are going to shoot the RNAV 25 into air park. So I'm going to bug 5,000. I'm going to put it into vertical speed, and let's go down at probably negative 500 foot per minute. If I don't blow past the altitude, I've got to hit altitude and vertical speed at the same time, and then it will capture the altitude. So now I'm going to load the RNAV 25. I'm going to go sear it. We're not going to do a course reversal. Barrel minimums. We've already briefed the plate. 3320 for the circling minimums. We'll go ahead and activate that. It's going to take us direct to sear it. Now we can put it into nav mode, and we'll hit the button twice to get it into GPS steer mode. Now, just because the autopilot's on does not mean that we can let go of our feet. There's no yaw dampener in this airplane, so we still have to stay active on the rudders. Okay, so let's make sure we got the flight plan loaded up right here. We've got traffic about 5 miles ahead of us, so I'm just going to pull some power, let him go ahead of us. So on the approach plate, it wants us to cross sear it at or above 4,500. We're going to leave it at 5,000 just because ATC in the area, they always have us at 5,000, so we're just going to keep it at 5,000. And we have that selected. We've got altitude select here, so once it hits 5,000, it is going to level off. If we ever just hit altitude and not the vertical speed, it's just going to level off at whatever altitude that it's at. Alright, so we are 3.3 from sear it. Once we cross sear it, we're going to be on a heading of 250, so I'm just going to go ahead and bug that. Today we're not talking to ATC, we're just VFR, and this gets us right underneath the Charlie.
We're inbound for 16, air park.
Right, so there's 5,000. You can see that our vertical speed went away, and now it just says altitude. And then over here, our white altitude turned green, meaning that we captured it. So now we're just at 5,000, and it's going to do whatever it needs to. Obviously, there's no throttle control for our autopilot, so we've got to stay ahead of it. Right, we're 1.5 from sear for the initial approach fix, RNAV 25 into air park. We're going to be circling to land one. This is going to be a simulated single engine approach, so once we cross sear it, or whenever I pull your engine, we're going to pull back and we'll identify, verify feather. We're going to stay at our altitude, and I'll just explain as we're doing it. Okay, so now our GPS, we are in GPS steer mode. 250, it's going to turn right 250 in 3 seconds. And then this is where we would hit the approach mode. Right, it's going to start turning right heading 250. It's still going to maintain 2,500, and it's just going to wait for that glide slope to come in. So we'll let the airplane get situated, straight and level. Like I said, we still have to be active on our feet. Right, so this is usually when I would pull your engine. So I'm going to pull the right one. So I'm just going to pull it all the way to idle. First thing we're doing is kick off that autopilot. You got to hit this button twice. Then everything else goes nice and smooth, full forward. Now this time we are not going to be pitching for 84 because we're in the clouds. So we're just going to maintain 5,000. So we're going to identify, we're going to check our drag items, flaps up, gears up, and now we're going to identify, verify, and this time we're going to state a feather. So my right leg is dead. We're going to verify that. We're going to keep this at idle, and we're going to simulate. So we're just going to bring it to about halfway through. Now while we're in this, we can go ahead and secure the engine. We turn the fuel off. Boost pump off, ignition's off, and turn that right alternator field off. But since we're just simulating it, we're not actually going to do that. Now we are still in the clouds, so we're still shooting the approach here. Airport traffic, Twin Tecnam 973 Golf Victor is 10 miles to the east on the RNAV 25, going to be circling to land 16, airport. So we're just at 5,000. And we're just waiting for our glide slope to come in.
So we're about 4 miles east on the VRDME, we'll circle 16.
So you can see our glide slope just started coming in. I'm just going to pull a little bit of power back. We're going to stay at 5,000. When this glide slope is one ball above us, that's when we're going to get configured to land. So the ball's one above us, so we're going to run through our FBI up. So fuel's on both, boost pumps on, ignition on, gear is going to go down, props go full forward, and then now we are going to put our flaps to take off. Now I know we're on a single engine, but we're going to need it to help us. So in this airplane, about 90 to 95 is a good approach speed, so never be afraid to pull power out. And so we're just going to follow that glide slope all the way in, stay. Keep our center needle centered. Going about 90 to 95.
Airpark traffic here, 791 Charlie Delta, left base, 16 Airpark.
So we're 1.3 from Wavok. We're going to cross Wavok at or above 4,500. We're following our glide slope, and that's going to have us cross it right at 4,500. We're at 90 to 95 on our airspeed. We're getting a little bit above the glide slope, so we're just going to lower that nose. Alright, we're crossing Wavok right now. We're right on our glide slope. We're keeping that center needle centered. Airport traffic, Twin Tecnam 973 Gulf Victor on the RNAV 25, circling the land 16, 5 miles to the east. Alright.
Hey Colin, it's Josh. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing good. We're going to do a little teardrop right here north of 16, just to get set up to land in this crosswind. We'll try to speed it up so we don't hold you guys up.
Sounds good, appreciate it. So we're just staying on our glide slope and our center needle. We're getting a little fast, so we're just going to pull a little bit more power out. We want around 90 to 95. Let's do that by bringing our nose up. And we're still in the clouds. We're going all the way down to 3320. That's our circling minimum. Or RNAV 25. We're just keeping our scan going, looking at our glide slope, airspeed, our center needle. Put an updraft here. Right back on that glide slope. It's getting bumpy down here. It's getting hot today. A little bit more power.
Charlie Delta's crossing the numbers, 16 Airport.
Airport traffic, Twin Tecnam 973 Gulf Victor, 2.5 to the east on the RNAV 25, circle land 16 Airport.
Minimums.
Hey, there's our minimums. So depending on what we're doing, I might give you your engine back.
Airport traffic here, 791.
Or I might not. So today we're going to give it back, so I'm just going to bring back that one. And can go, bring that full forward, and we would just land.